Well, Rabbis, ladies and gentlemen, please give the attention for a couple of minutes. First and foremost, at the Tzfas, I want to thank everybody for joining us at this affair, this important affair. We have the honor to have here the roof of Tzfas near Klein. Tzfas is one of the funniest towns in Israel because just like it's spelled about a million different ways, S-A-F-A-D, T-S-F-A-T, so is the people there. There's a million different types of people there. Predominantly, most of the biggest organizations of Tzfas is Chabad and Breslov. They have the biggest organizations and they are peaceful and very friendly over there. And we have the honor of having the roof of Efraim Kenig, the brother of the roof of Shalom. Now, if you all ask me, what am I doing in Tzfas? I'm in Monsey, I'm in Surfside. I got news for you, I have a house in Tzfas too. I'm a resident there. I don't have a Tudat Zahut, but I'm a resident there. How did I become a resident in Tzfas is a long story. I don't think I want to hold you here till tomorrow. But in short, the Rebbe gave my wife and me the opportunity to bump into Kenig, the brother of the esteemed Rav from Tzfas right now. And for those of you who know, there's booklets on the table. It's not completed yet, it's just a draft version of it. And basically, in short, I'll try to do a Reader's Digest version, very short. The roof of Shalom needed a transplant, a lung transplant, and he had to come to America. And a friend asked me if I can let him use a mikveh that we have in our shul in Monsey. And the roof here from Tzfas, he needs special attention. He's got to go in his own house. I said, well, of course, definitely he can use it. He came in, he had the oxygen tanks in the mikveh deep. He took it off for a minute. Whatever, I don't want to go in. I'll make a short story very long. And the kids, in the end, my wife and I invited him to stay with us, and he asked if he has a limit till when he can stay, and we thought that's what kind of question, as long as you eat. Because for those of you who don't know, and you should never know, a transplant, you gotta wait for a transplant to come. They can take anywhere from God knows when. And then afterwards you have to recoup. The kids on Maisa, we had, Baruch Hashem, 14 years after the surgery that he spent with us. First year, a whole year, then on and off, a couple of months a year. And Baruch Hashem, he was able to marry off kids. He still had young kids. He was able to go to weddings of grandchildren, not great-grandchildren, but grandchildren's wedding. And he asked me once, please buy an apartment in Tzfas. I looked at him, Tzfas and me are really much worse than Surfside and me. You know, what am I doing in Tzfas? He said, please. I said, okay, whatever you say. And Baruch Hashem, we're very happy that we did buy it, so that's how I became a resident of Tzfas. Not to say that every time I call anybody in the municipalities, I cannot get through, but Tidat Zahut, I said, what's that? I don't have that. He said, you have to have it, I said, they don't give it to me. So I use Nachis Tidat Zahut every time. And he gets me through with Bezek and all these crazy things. Anyway, so that's my connection to Tzfas. I was in Tzfas, and I want to make it very short. I was in Tzfas a couple of years ago. Blutzer, the roof over there, was nifter 4 years ago. And I would say about 10 years ago, I was in Tzfas. I usually go in the summer when Surfside gets too hot and unbearable. For those of you who stay here once in a while in the summer. So I try to go to Tzfas. It's a nice, cool place. Not to say that Monsey isn't, but Tzfas is Tzfas. In long story, I asked him he asked me one day, not him, his people, to come and visit the organization, yeshivas and this. His people, I said, no, I'm not going only if he comes. And he said, he's Machman. He's going to take me around. He's going to come with us. Rabbi said, I was shocked. I thought this was going to take like 20 minutes. I thought, well, I'll be right back. 4 or 5 hours. We went from one place to the other, from a kindergarten to a regular boys' school, to a girls' school, I couldn't believe, from one building to the other. Even Laney, for special kids, they built now a beautiful, beautiful masjid over there. And what? A beautiful mikveh and all that. Well, that's not where I went to look at the mikveh, but the masjids, I was shocked. There's literally, ladies and gentlemen, thousands of kids that go through their education from not only kindergarten, I think they have pre-kindergarten as 3 months old. Tzfas happens to be one of the poorest communities in Israel, and unfortunately, a lot of husbands sit in Kenig, and the wives go to work, so they need to deposit their young kids somewhere. So they have a beautiful masjid. It's like really, really beautiful. For 3 months old, all the way up. What do they say? From cradle to grave, all the way up. I was very, very impressed with that. And so was he, because due to his illness, he hasn't visited his masjid for years. He hasn't gone and looked at the masjid. And it refreshed him too. He was very, very happy. And therefore, I became very close, not only to him, also to support their masjids. I will confess, full disclosure, I'm not a Breslover. I'm an FOB, friend of Breslov, but I do have a son that is a Breslover. So, Met Hashem, he will be the guest speaker. We will speak in English, just to satisfy everybody who doesn't understand Yiddish. The Rob will say a couple of words in Hebrew, so everybody can say he does not know English, so he'll have to pick a language that I hope most of you understand. We also have the honor of having the Murda Asra of Surfside here, Rabbi Lipsker. Everybody who lives here or comes here knows who Rabbi Lipsker is. He built it from the bottom up, from a storefront, all the way up to what you see now. He was a part of hundreds, maybe 1,000 Yidden to become Yidden and good Yidden. And the credit is all to him. He, Mamish, solely alone, did that work. I will ask him, my brother is here, Mazel Tov, ask Larab Safifa Gudel. Sorry, I gotta take a break. Sit down. I will have the honor to be Mechabed Rabbi Lipsker to say a couple short words. Please stand by. So I'll bring the mic.
Good luck to everyone. It's an honor to be here. I have the great pleasure to welcome Kenig from Tzfas earlier this week, and his entourage. Anybody who's been to Israel knows Breslov. In fact, it's very interesting that Israel, like every place, has nights, and at night you go to sleep. So it happened to be that we had an apartment. We were staying in the apartment of a friend of mine who was right opposite the hotel. His apartment, when you look up, that's the apartment right there. Beautiful apartment, big, made it into an American apartment with big windows. We had to close the windows because you're sitting in front of the hotel every time. You walk into the kitchen, you walk into the bedroom, you're in front of the hotel. At about 1 o'clock in the morning, everything was quiet. You face stragglers here and there, 1 or 2. People that have no place to sleep, just straggle up. And it's about that time, about 1 o'clock, on a pretty regular basis, that also we hear music and dancing and singing. I said, well, what's going on outside every single Shabbos night, every single Thursday night, and then the week as well? Blessed the Hasidim were maintaining the joy of Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim should not remain asleep at night, like the babysitters of the holy city. Pretty strong thing. They're known for their joyfulness, etc. And they are also living in a certain pattern that's in some way very close to Chabad, in the sense that our Rebbe is with us in spirit. Because physically, he's in the oil, he passed away, but he's with us in spirit. And that spirit continues to give us life force that gives us more energy even than before. It's an incredible reality. You see the growth of Chabad, etc., etc. Today, one of the Chabad Shluchim was in the shul, Chief Rabbi Russia, and he was telling a story that a week ago in the middle of the shul, he was asked to have a meeting with Putin, met with Putin. It's a different level of interaction. But I remember everybody was asking the question about Breslov, that it was, they called it a passing Hasidus, because the Breslov 11, there was no Breslov 11. And so they showed that you can continue a reality that is beyond our physical reality. When it says in Zohar, Tzadik Nispater, the Tanya quotes it in the 25th chapter of Yeres HaKodesh, Tzadik Nispater nimtza b'hai alma yaptir v'zachayehu, that a person, a tzaddik who passes away, is in this physical world, reality, more than in his lifetime. That's what it says. It doesn't use euphemisms, doesn't do exaggerations. The Zohar tells you the reality of what is. So in that case, you see the strength of Breslov and that community. And just for another second, the concept of Breslov also respects the concept of unity. That every Jew is part of the Jewish people. That there's no Jew that is not part of the Jewish people, that they have a neshama. And that's interesting that I asked the question, very interesting. This Pasha, just quick, I heard, talked about it on Friday, talks about Achadam Lahates, right? You go after the majority. So there's a whole question that Agashur, who used to dissect the Torah very interestingly, he asked the question, what is Achadam Lahates? What happens to the minority? Let's say there's 71, 36 vote one way, 35 vote another way. So the 36 win, what happened to 35? So there's three opinions. One, the passage, the 35 disappear. They're like nothing. You don't consider them anymore. So if you now have to outweigh the 36, you have to bring 37. Because the first 35 don't count. Nothing. The second opinion is that they're minority, but they still have their strength. They're not eliminated. Their position is not the rule, but they're not eliminated to the extent, if they want to overweigh the majority, you only have to bring two people. But they're already 35, so you have to bring 36 and 37. And with 37, they can outweigh the majority. Another opinion is that the 35 become in some way embedded in the 36. They now becomes a total of 71 who have a position. The 35, it's not that they don't exist, or they retain their position. They become completely integrated into the other factor, because that's the way of the Jewish people. And that happens to be the real concept of Achdus. The real concept of Achdus is not the sense that there's a separateness. It's really an integrated unity. And the things of difference is just approaches and nothing more, but not in the essence of the fact. And Breslov is a real strong, good example of that opposite struggle. And we wish you a lot of atzlacha. And based on what Mr. Klein said, that they had extraordinary institutions, which I have to tell you the truth, I myself did not know that clearly. I was not aware of this whole institutional system, even though I know the Kleins for many years. But they didn't fundraise me ever. So happens to be, I didn't know. But today, I found out that this is very impressive. So participate. Good luck. Thank you very much, Mr. Klein, for giving me the opportunity to share a few words here.
Mr. Rabbi Lipsker, it's really a big honor to have you here. I know it's very hard for you. You have a very busy calendar, and I appreciate so much that you came to be mechazik us. I think right now, just to prove that I was saying the truth, we'll present you with a video to show you. We'll take you in 1 minute. By the end, we'll take you to Tzfas. Please stand by. We'll darken the lights. We don't need to darken the lights. The producer said you don't have to darken the lights. For the women, we have a video over there, display. For the men, we have it here. Please roll. Engineer, please. Hello.
Es wird gebringt in Kisvi Ha'ari. הפירוש הפוסק כי בוחר השם בציון, איבו למוישה בלוי. כי בוחר השם בציון, בוחר אידאויסיס von Choreb. Das heißt also, sind der Besamigdosh Choreb geworden. Ist Kivayocho der Eibster übergeblieben, sein Schchine, der Mokoi Meishovoi, in ihr HaKodesh Tzfas. Das ist Ivo le Moisha Bloi. Ivo, der Ad Bash, ist Tzfas. Der Aleph ist die Tov, der Vov ist der Pei, und der Hei ist der Tzadik von Tzfas. Und unser Plan ist dort zu gehen 80 Stiebe, 80 Bote mit Gurim, mit der Größe des Medrash, mit der schönen Mikve, mit der schönen Talmeteure, der Yeshivektane. Das dürfen sein, die vielen Divim, also haben ähnliche jüdische Herzer, also der spürende Machrayes von Klal Israel, Klapi Tzfas, und uns helfen mit dem, wir sollen kennen, bojen, ihre Kodesh Tzfas, umkehren ihr Kohle. Als Aid kommt in Tzfas, soll wissen, also hat der Ort in der lebendige Stadt Eichel, nicht nur auf dem Besserkurs.
נקודת נחל נובע מקור חוכמה, פועלת בעיר הקודש צפת, 40 שנה. ויש בה כל המוסדות, ממעונות יום, תלמיד ילדים, תלמוד תורה, לבנים, בית ספר לבנות, ישיבה, אברכים, ועוד מוסדות חסד, עזרה הדדית. מצווה גדולה וזכות גדולה לכל מי שיקח חלק בזה. כל אלה שיקחו חלק יתברכו בכל הברכות עד השם, שנזכה כולנו לגאולה השלמה בקרוב במהרה בימינו.
Versteht sich, wer sie haben, ein Heilig in dem, wer sie nehmen, ein Anteil in dem, ist ein Schuss gewaltig groß. Warum das sagt man wissen? Als eben mit dem Yotze Hashem sicher sein, umkehren dem ähnlichen Kovet zu ihrer Tzfas, hätte sein ein Kovet vom Klein Israel. Und wir mögen wissen, als der Hashem am mit umkehren dem Kovet zu Tzfas, את הססך דופן zu Binyan Zion Yerushalayim, was dorten ist Osila bis Hamikdosh, geboren zu werden, und Hero B'Yomin Omen.
Thank you very much. I think it was a wonderful presentation. Following the strength of the Shagalov presentation. At this point, I want to move it forward quick. I have the zchus to have my son, my youngest son, Yoely, to say a couple of words, and then we'll have the honor to hear the Rav say a couple of closing words. I ask my son to come up. Please, thank you.
Thank you. We're holding now by the end, the tail end, really, the final party for Shovim, so to speak. I was thinking the other day, I got a little bit of a haskama from Rabbi Yeshua's son, Rabbi Saul Simcha. I told him this word. He said, good, you're saying good. So that's at least the summer haskama. I said that we go through the parasha Shovim stands for, Shmois, Ve'ira, B'Yishach, Yisrael, Mishpatim. So I said, if you have Shmois, Ve'ira, B'Yishach, so we went from the exile, we went to the Geula, we even had Kriyas Yamsuf. It's an amazing thing. But if you just stop there, you're left with Shovav, right? And everyone that knows Hebrew, Shovav means a wild Vildachaya in Yiddish, right? So, or you need the Yisrael and Mishpatim, you need the Torah, Nasa Nishma, like Kabbalah Torah. Only if you have that Mayim, Elohim Mayim Ela Torah, then you become a person. So, Baruch Hashem, we're going to be here right by the water, and obviously this has to do with Torah. Someone came over to Rav Nachman of Breslov once, and he said to him, I want a segula, I want to be a masmid, I want to be very diligent in my Torah study. So he said, what should I do? So the Rebbe told him, you should look at every single person good, from a good eye. Don't look at anyone ever in a bad eye. The guy looked at the Rebbe, he said, that's a beautiful thing to do, but what does that have to do with Torah learning? How is that going to help my Torah? So the Rebbe explained, and he said that there are 600,000 letters in the Torah, like the Rebbe was saying by Shal Shabbos tonight, and there are 600,000 souls in Klal Yisrael. So every single soul is represented in a letter in the Torah. So when you look at people with darkened eyes, their letter in the Torah darkens. And then you come to whole sections in the Torah, you have no interest in it, you have no desire for it, because you've looked at those people in a bad light. He said when you start looking at all the people in the world, everyone around you, in a good light, you start looking at the words in the Torah and it'll illuminate. And you'll just feel a natural desire and you'll run after the Torah. That was the advice that the Rebbe gave to him. I was a teacher for the last bunch of years, students that were, coming from limited backgrounds, so to speak. And I would often tell them, I would say, it says, it's brought down in Halacha, a guy that's sitting Shiva Nebuch should never happen, or even on Tisha B'Av, should never happen again. But it's usher to learn Torah during those times. Because it says, Pudei Hashem Yisham, Samchei Lev, that the Torah is misameach a person, it brings a person tremendous joy. So I said, let me ask you guys something. Do you find this to be true, I know where they were coming from. They said, Rabbi, for us it's a mitzvah to learn Torah on Tisha B'Av. They said, we don't like it, we don't connect to it, we don't appreciate it. I said to them, okay, I accept that, but let me ask you something. Did you ever like Torah? No, I don't think so. I said, think deep. So the guy starts thinking a little bit more. He says, you know what? This guy, he said, from California, some city outside in the middle of California. He said, one time I was at a Chabad shul for Shabbos, and the rabbi said over a beautiful sikha. And it struck me how it connected with the parsha and everything. I love that. It was very beautiful. I said, there you go. I said, you found the piece of Torah that you love, that speaks to you. And I said to him, every single person has a piece of Torah that speaks to them, that awakens their soul, and brings them closer to Hashem. The job is that we just have to find that. Nowadays, Baruch Hashem, in the olden days, it would be like a search, a journey. You'd have to go who knows where to find Yiddishkeit, to find your portion of the Torah. Nowadays, you open up any computer, any phone, you could have access to every single facet, every single style, every single person. You can learn Torah from anyone, everywhere. So we have, Baruch Hashem, a tremendous zechus to have that capability to find our chelik in the Torah. I think nowadays, from what I find, that Baruch Hashem, we live in such a connected world that fundraising situation is becoming like critical mass almost. Like you can't open your phone without getting like 5 messages from people that you really know that are telling you to fundraise. it becomes to a certain point that obviously you try to give everyone, but it's difficult. So I think to connect that to what we were speaking about is that, Reb Nachman says that you have to find the Torah that you love. You have to look at people properly, and when you look at people well, so automatically you'll find the Torah that speaks to you. The Torah will be illuminated. So the same thing I think with looking into tzedakahs and things like that. You could watch a video for a couple of minutes, you can see, wow, there's an amazing thing going on there, you can hear from people speaking, but the truth is that if you want to really appreciate it, and you want to get clarity in your life for all your fundraising things that are going on around you, you got to make the effort to go out and find what speaks to you truthfully. And it says in Shabbos we say Toyameo Chaim Zacho, which literally means, the way I've understood it, they used to sing it in camp when they gave potato kugel and fruit punch on Friday. They used to sing Toyameo Chaim Zacho, come taste a little bit of Shabbos food, and it's you'll be Zeicher Chaim. But I think also Zacho comes from Lashon Zach, of clarity. That Toyameo, when you taste something, Chaim Zach, your life becomes clear. So what I suggest for everyone, for all of us, is that when you're faced with a tzedakah or for anything, Torah, tzedakah, anything that you're faced with, try to find a connection to it. Try to seek out a person, a real person to speak to that lives there, that experiences it. You have the tzedakah of Tzfas. I mean, Baruch Hashem, we should all be zeicher to get to Eretz Yisrael. Anyone that goes to Eretz Yisrael almost certainly goes to Tzfas. So make an effort, reach out to someone from this community, say, I want to see these institutions, or I want to go daven on Friday night, I want to see that experience. It's an incredible thing to just be there and experience it. It changes the whole paradigm. And the truth is that is the essence of how we can make our decisions. That's what gives us clarity. Baruch Hashem, we're zeicher to have, the Kenig family. We were zeicher to be close to the Bluzer and now Efraim. And it's an amazing thing to have a connection to these very special people who are carrying on the legacy from Rabbi Dalia, from their father. Rabbi Nachman also says that like a signet ring in the olden days, they used to have signet rings to stamp into all of the the documents to make them sealed. And so he said that when you look at a signet ring, it looks backwards. Only when you stamp it into the hot wax, all of a sudden you see what it looked like. He said the same thing with the tzaddik, is that the tzaddik, when you look at him, you can't really connect to him so much. But when you see his talmidim, when you see the people that he's taught and that have absorbed who he was, then you can start seeing who the tzaddik is, and you can see it in a much clearer picture sometimes than actually coming close to the tzaddik himself. So the same thing over there, you go to Tzfas, you speak to people, you see the imprint that the Kenigs have had on the community and what they've built, and Hashem should help that we should all have the Tzfas to go out of our comfort zone and to search out. It's not so hard, it just matters, sometimes just opening our mouth. And we should be there to find all of the tzedakahs that speak to us and be naturally drawn to it, and especially find the Torah, now that we're coming out of Shagalov, to return to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ava v'simcha. Shkoyach.
Shkoyach, my son. Hard act to follow, he beats me by far. But then again, he has a strangle I don't, so he's ahead of me. At this point, we want to move on. We'll ask the Buddha Asher from Breslov and Tzfas, Rav Tzadik Efraim Kenig, to say a couple of Divrei Kodesh, to cover the Melava Malka. As I said, he does not know English, he knows Yiddish. Not everybody here understands Yiddish, right? No, okay, I've got a lot of no's. Does anybody and everybody understand Hebrew? Spanish? Yes. No, I'm sorry, we don't know Spanish. We'll select Hebrew, the Rav will talk in Hebrew, so most of the people will know and understand. If you don't, we'll interpret to you. It's being taped, so we can always send you a translated tape. Thank you. Here we go.
שבוע טוב, הקהל הקדוש, ובראשם המכובדים, מורד העשרה, בליפסקר, כל אחד ואחד תפרו מעלתו, באלכסנדריה, וגם קליין שיחיה, האח שלו הגדול. חז"ל אומרים, כינוס לצדיקים, הנאה להם והנאה לעולם. באופן פשוט, הכינוס לצדיקים, עם ישראל, וכולם, בעמך כולם צדיקים, כולם התאספנו, אנחנו צדיקים, וזה כינוס לצדיקים. הנאה להם והנאה לעולם, יוצא טוב לנו ולכל העולם. זה שאנחנו מתאספים למען כבוד הצדיקים שבצפת, אפשר לפרש את זה כינוס לצדיקים. אנחנו התאספנו בשביל לתת כבוד לצדיקים שבצפת, שצפת נתנה כל כך הרבה לעם ישראל, גם בפרדס, בניגלו, ניסטו וכולי, תפילות, שירים, פיוטים, סליחות, מה לא, מה צפת נתנה את כל מה שעם ישראל צריך, כמעט התגדלה בצפת. אנחנו לא מדברים על איזושהי היסטוריה של צדיקים שגרו וחיו שם לפני אלפי שנים. אנחנו מדברים על אמונה בצדיקים שחיים וקיימים גם היום. אני רוצה להסביר את מה שרבי נחמן מסביר את מה שכתוב בזוהר הקדוש. ויועמד רב שמעון, הגאון אחת לחברי, פסח פיכו ויועירו דבריכו. זאת אומרת, בזמן שרב שמעון בר יוחאי היה חי, אז התלמידים אמרו אחד לשני, תפתח את הפה ויעירו הדברים שלך, תדבר. בוסר והסתלק רב שמעון. כתוב שם, הגאון אחד לחברי, אל תיתן אספיחו לחתי אספסורכו. אחרי שרב שמעון כבר הסתלק מהעולם, אז כבר היה אומר אחד לשני, שמור את הפה שלא נחתה חלילה. אז רבי נחמן מסביר, ביועמד רב שמעון, בזמן שבן אדם מרגיש שרבי שמעון חי, זה שהיה חי בפועל לפני אלפי שנה, לפני קרוב ל2000 שנה, זה היה איך אומרים, בפועל בגוף, בעולם הזה, אבל אנחנו מאמינים שצדיקים במיתתם קרויים חיים, אז כך שהכוח האמונה מחייבת אותנו, מזכה אותנו, שנרגיש שרב שמעון חי. ובמצב כזה, הגאון אחד לחברי, פסח פיכו ויעירו דבריכו, אפשר לדבר, אפשר להתחזק, אפשר לברר את האמונה הצדיקים, להרגיש שהם חיים. וזה מה שהם, הרי הצדיק, בזמן שהוא היה חי בעולם, גם כן לא היה לו כל כך קשר עם הגוף שלו. הכל היה רוחני, הכל היה מרומם, וזה הצדיק גם כן ממשיך בעולם. ועוד יותר מזה, כי אז כל עוד שהוא היה מוגבל בגוף, אז היה לו את המגבלות שלו. היום כבר לא מוגבל אפילו, אלא הוא חי וקיים בינינו. לבוסר ושוכב רב שמעון יכול להיות גם כן שזה היה במצב שרב שמעון היה חי, אבל אנשים לא היו מתייחסים לזה, לא היה להם חשיבות את החיים של הצדיק. אז במילא אז צריך מאוד מאוד להיזהר, להיות שמור מן החטא. זה הכוח הזה, עם ישראל תמיד מתחזק, תמיד מפתח, תמיד מברר בין אדם לעצמו, בין אדם לחברו. הכוח של הצדיק שהוא פועל בעולם, גם בזמן שהוא חי בתוך הגוף, גם בזמן שהוא פושט את הגוף ועולה למעלה. אז רבי נחמן אומר, צדיק, מה שעולה יותר ויותר למעלה, יותר הוא מהיר בעולם הזה. וזה הכוח של הצדיק. ממילא, כינוס לצדיקים, כשאנחנו מדברים על צדיקים שחיו במקום הזה, בצורה שנתנה לעם ישראל, מה לא נתנה, בכל התחומים, הדבר הזה, כמה זה גורם לנו לאיזשהו רצון להרים את הכבוד של הצדיקים. זה מה שאנחנו מנסים, זה מה שהאבא עליו השלום ציווה בעניין לפי הצוואה של הרבי שלו, רב אברהם שטרנהרץ, להשקיע כוחות בצפת. זה יהיה טובה לעם ישראל, כמו ששמענו מקודם, זה יהיה טובה לקירוב הגאולה. אומר, הבן אדם צריך לדעת כל העניין של הבחירה שלו, איפה, במה שהוא חי, במה שהוא מתבונן, כל הכוח של הבחירה זה בעניין של הרצון. בן אדם צריך למשוך, להיות קשור עם הרצון, לרצות על באמת. ברגע שבן אדם רוצה, אז חז"ל אומרים בדרך שלום, רויצה לילך, מליך אינו יצא. הוא כבר משם, כבר מריחים אותו. מה שצריך להיות רק הבירור בכל דבר ודבר שאנחנו עושים, הרצון העז. לא לשבור את השגרה הזו שאנחנו קמים בבוקר, רצים לבית כנסת, מניחים תפילין, וזה הולך כזה שבלונה, כאילו שהכל אוטומטית כבר. בן אדם צריך לחיות עם חיים, להתבונן בכל דבר, שיהיה לו רצון, כל דבר ודבר שיהיה שם, בכל מצווה ומצווה אותו דבר. הסעודה שיושבים עליו עכשיו, סעודת מלווה מלכה, לכבוד דוד המלך, לכבוד הנשמה יתרה, לכבוד זה שאליהו הנביא מתגלה במוצאי שבת ומביא לנו ישועות ורפואות, לדעת, כמו שכתוב בהלכה, הרי בית יוסף עשה סימן מיוחד בשולחנו, עם סעיף אחד, סדר שולחנו במוצאי שבת, אף על פי שהם מצורך אלו לקזייץ. כל דבר שעושים, עושים עם הכבוד. ומילא, כשמתייחסים בצורה כזו, בוודאי הצדיקים משפיעים עליהם. כל השפע הטוב, בגשמיות ורוחניות, בכל פרט ופרט, הדברים הכלליים אצל הבן אדם, אצל המשפחה שלו, הדברים היותר כלליים, בין עם ישראל, עוד יותר כלליים, בין עם ישראל, ביחס לכל העולם כולו, בין אומות העולם, בין דוינים לצמח, לחיים, לדבר, בכל העניינים, בוודאי שאדם הוא יסודי יותר, הוא חושב על כל דבר בצורה נכונה, עם האמונה הצרופה. בוודאי זה הדרך שהבן אדם מגיע לשלמות כזו שזה כביכול משכנע, כביכול לצפשם יסבורך, בצורה כזו שמוביל כזה שפע, שלא יהיה שום חיסרון, בצורה שלא יישמע שוד ושבר בעם ישראל, רק שפע חיים ובריאות, למגר את כל מה שסובלים, כל אחד באופן פרטי חלילה, באיזשהו חולשות, איזה מחושים, ושהשם ישלים לנו את הבריאות, נוכל לעבוד אותו באמת, בתמים, בלב שלם, מתוך בריאות הגוף והנפש, אז יושפע עלינו שפע כל הטוב. כל אחד רק צריך את הנקודה שלו, להשלים את זה. מה שאנחנו אומרים, בכל מצווה אנחנו עושים מצווה, כל אחד באופן עצמאי, אבל נאמר בשם כל ישראל, לא רק בשבילו עצמו. כל דבר מה שעושים, אנחנו עושים בשביל כל כלל ישראל. הרי יש כאלו שהם רחוקים מהדת, יש כאלו שאפילו לא יודעים שהם שייכים לעם ישראל. הכוח שהאיש הישראלי עושה מצווה בשם כל ישראל, מכוח ההרבוס, מכליל את כולם, ובוודאי השם יהיה בעזרנו מתוך הכוח של האחדוס ישראל, להגיע הגאולה בקרוב, אמן.
תודה רבה, הרב. That's all I know of Hebrew. By the way, I also want to thank Rabbi Felik, a very close friend, and Murdasker from Coconut Grove, Shaliach. Not only is he a Shaliach, he's made Miami to Menachem Mendel a Shaliach. In training. Shaliach in training. S-I-T, Shaliach in training. Sit. He's a sit. Thank you for coming and participating. After Nachachubov, I want to thank my wife for putting together a beautiful Shabbos. Not easy. I didn't help, confess, guilty, but she did the whole job. I want to thank her very much. She has a lot of experience, but she's a bit older. So thank you very much for doing it. We will ask Chazan Rabbi Shagalov to give one Melava Malka name. Please be patient. If you're not patient, too bad.
Good Tavach, everybody. Before I'm going to sing, I just wanted to say one word. And the one word is that I realized that everybody spoke well, but the bottom line is, without your support, they can't go on. So before you leave, make sure that you cash in on that. You have an opportunity, and like you said, whatever Moisa Torah you're close with, you can do. But you're here now, you're enjoying. Make sure that you invite 10 of your personal friends to become part of their group to support them. L'chaim. We'll do Yoely the water. Half a note, Moshe. Go up half a note, please.
Thank you very much. I don't know, you lost half of the crowd. Okay, we'll prepare for benching. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending. We'll be with Rabbi Lipsker to bench. I hope that we have wine here. Rabbi Shagalov, would you just give a yard of City Shir Malka for a short version of Shir Malka?
This was the biggest hit song.